Chat, here we go. Looks like we got a server that Daunt is willing to play in. We've got Daunt versus Dark. Or should I say Daunt? And just question mark, because Dark doesn't even have the name Dark in his name anymore. He's just parentheses question mark. Oh, now he's Dark. It just changed during his air dribble. That was one of the best mechanics I've seen. Going into Steam and changing your name mid-air dribble. Very impressive. Daunt has played a couple show matches before. His most recent one, I think, was against AJ. He played against AJ. I believe that was a sweep for AJ. AJ is a tough opponent to play against. But Daunt has been playing well in 1v1. I was watching his stream last night, and he was saying he wanted all the best North Americans to queue because he wanted to take them down. And so today, he's not going to go up against a North American. He's going to go up against not even a European, but a Middle Eastern player in Dark. But they're going to play on EU service here. And I know everyone's going to be saying, ping check, ping check. There it is. 120 for Daunt and 80 for Dark. So definitely an away server for this whole series for Daunt. But we'll see if he can still handle Dark. Dark has only gotten one show match win. He beat Lorley. He had a rough start to his show match career, but that has been the case for a lot of debuting players in the past. I don't know if you guys remember, I think Moxie, when he came onto the scene, even had a bit of a struggle in his early show matches despite being highly rated before he found his footing and showed what he can do. And speaking of Moxie, Dark's going to score his first goal with a flick into the crossbar and down. Daunt is playing a bit more passive. And one thing that we know about the players we've seen with about 120 ping play in the past, which is KV1 and pretty much just KV1, is that he plays very, very aggressive. Some of the Middle Eastern guys play, near 120, but more like 100. And I don't know if Daunt is used to playing that way. As somebody who probably gets to play on 20 ping normally, or actually at 120, I bet he has like 40 on East. But as somebody who gets to play on very low ping normally, you might not be used to the style that fits 120 ping better. But this is a good early challenge on Dark's Pogo. All of chat is sitting here wanting to watch the Pogo, and Daunt is not going to let you guys. By the way, I mentioned this before when before we started the stream, but I'll mention it now on the YouTube video as well. Both these guys are live streaming. They're live streaming the show match. RL Dark 1 is where you can find Dark on Twitch if you guys want to watch him live. And then Daunt, I believe, is Daunt spelt with 2 N's and 2 T's. So if you want to find him on Twitch, that is how you can get to watch him live. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find them during a time they're playing show matches. I know Daunt has been trying to queue 1s a bunch recently. So if you're looking to watch 1s ranked, and Dark has actually been queuing 1s and playing against Khaled. The last time he was streaming after RLCS, I think it was yesterday, he actually played a couple different games against Khaled on his stream, because Khaled has been grinding up the 1s leaderboard as well. So definitely a no-brainer to go follow these guys who are both looking for the best players to 1v1, and they're willing to stream it as well. So it doesn't get better than that as a 1v1 fan. Daunt doesn't quite have this breakaway. He is just going to go air dribble bump. Dark able to get around it. Bit of a stalemate here. While I introduced the players, they were both kind enough to not get a single goal, as we are tied at 1-1. You missed a donut. Oh, that's right. I did. How much money was it? I have it covered up right now. I can tab out after this goal. And I can see 25. Another 25. All right, so it's $50 now. $50 prize pool for these guys. I'll make sure they know after the next goal goes in, so I don't distract them. And it looks like that goal is going to be this one right here, as Dark bumps Daunt out of the way. Goes up 2-1. $50 prize now. And I will actually go update that on the scoreboard as well. Thank you to Valerwin. Valerwin, by the way. I can see the name, I just not how much they donated. So thank you, Valerwin, for the $25 donation addition to the prize. Always love when we can offer up some prize pools for these guys to play in. And it takes about 2 seconds to watch Dark while he's streaming to see him go for like a triple flip reset or a quad reset or something and have it work. So it's definitely worthwhile checking him out. Daunt is just going to take all the way from his own back wall for a second goal. Dark off the wall. Great use of the jump to push himself down to the ground quicker to prep for this play against Daunt, who was not willing to challenge early. He is continuing to try and shadow, which is a tough thing to do against a player like Dark. Dark, this could be a direct kickoff win. 4-2 in a low-scoring game for the majority of the first few minutes. It has picked up here, and a lot of that has been a result of the kickoffs from Dark, who got quick control in that corner to score the previous one, and then just slams this one basically directly into the net. I wonder how streaming on 120 ping in a show match is for Daunt. Not going to be easy, I bet. As Daunt undercuts, and Dark tries to find his way out of this blue half, with Daunt making sure he's doing so boostless. Interesting backflip. Dark actually baited him into another challenge because the backflip left an open window, and Daunt thought for sure that Dark would try and take it. Actually surprised how much boost that Dark did have as he approached out here. 70 boost. He did not get a reset on that 100, but he decided he wanted to close the distance only once Daunt took it all the way out to the midfield, and that left the window open. Thank you for the raid, Bronskian, for the party of 50. Much appreciated. We're watching Daunt here in game number 1 try and come back with 30 seconds left to go. He is going to be up for this one. Great catch. Looking for a crazy angle. It's going to be so hard to find it once. You really can't get away with that slow of a dribble to the back wall. Dark is going to be able to easily counter it by not giving you the bounce that Daunt wants, and then Daunt is stuck flying through the air. So game number 1 looks like it is going to go to Dark, the youngster, the 14-year-old. Someone was asking how old Daunt is. I don't really know. He's on the younger side, but he's not. He's RLCS age and has been for a bit, so he's not as young as Dark. Game number 2. Dark and Daunt. Daunt really just needs to clean up the kickoff. He had a good game. He had very good counterattacks, as Daunt is known to be a bit overly aggressive when trying to score. But what he needed to do was not hand over free goals off of 2 different kickoffs. Now he's going to hand over a free goal by not being able to protect this ball. Didn't expect the backflip challenge. He was looking to get around the ball to cut it and get Dark to miss. So he wasn't protecting for the 50. And that was his issue there. He needs to play that faster. Oh, here's the pogo. Not going to result in anything, but he does use the reset for a wave dash. He's just so far away from net. But anyways, as I was saying, Daunt either needs to cut faster or he needs to just stay behind the ball and prep 250. And I actually think it's pretty favorable to 50 somebody who's in reverse. Dark air dribble bump off the pogo. The bounce is too high, and Daunt should just be getting a goal. And he does. 1-0. Or sorry, 1-1. What is Dark's Twitch? RL Dark 1. And then Daunt is double N double T. Dark's stream yesterday, or whatever it was, is literally just him in between every single game and every training session pulling up his settings and showing it to chat, because everybody just keeps coming in and asking him what all his settings are. I have a feeling that if he's got some people who know what they're doing, they have clipped that on his channel. You can just go check out his clips, if I had to guess. If not, go do it yourself, because I'm sure he'll show you, and then I clip it, and then we can have the answer for everybody. Dark trying to super pre-jump and pull away from the ball, which is always hard to do. We see a lot of people pre-jumping aerials, but usually it's towards the play. It's not often that it works out when you're pre-jumping and fading away from the ball, especially when you're doing so as early as he is. Daunt on the bounce dribble. Dark's going to come challenge. He just single jumps into the wave dash 50 in hopes of basically capitalizing on the over-aggression of Dark, at least how he saw it. Didn't work out. Now he's got himself a carry, and he tried to flick it over the top of a close shadow, and he didn't catch the ball cleanly, so didn't get good connection on the flick. But Daunt, he is trying to feast on these counters and has just not been able to the last couple attempts. Dark, aggressive bumping on Daunt, but Daunt was always going to be okay. There wasn't a quick scoring opportunity, and Daunt just shot that too high, didn't he? Yeah, crossbar and down instead of in. An open net from Daunt that he doesn't capitalize on, and he makes a much harder shot to follow it up. He should have just had the 3-1 lead from the first shot, but he goes around the corner, tries to demo Dark, maybe affects his rotation back to net a little bit, and then slams one just inside the far post to get his 3-1 lead. Diagonal kickoff from Daunt. And what I mean by that is he approaches the ball at the diagonal. He doesn't get goal side. He just pushed it off to the left and lost it, you know, to a position that he could control, but definitely dangerous. If Dark gets that goal side kickoff fast enough, it's going to look like a couple of the kickoffs we've already seen, which are just the ones that go right off the sidewall and then into the net. Daunt. Oh, what a shot. Just enough power that Dark cannot handle it. Dark lobbing up to the sidewall. He didn't pick up that midfield boost, so his recovery was just so slow. He needed that midfield to rush right away. Instead, slowly rolled into the back corner and could not cover the entirety of the net. Daunt, soft touch to the side wall to set up this air dribble. He's going to go reset and low. Normally that close, there's not a lot of movement you can get on the ball to get past the defender. You'll see players go for air dribble bumps from those positions. And I think that's one of the more reliable ways to score from that spot. But not what Daunt tried to do. Dark turn, immediate challenge. He got Daunt to miss here. He couldn't get enough power on the touch. Daunt, interesting start to the dribble. He kept ball cam on the whole way, so his camera was pointed almost directly at the sidewall. Dark now off the ceiling. He sees the early challenge. He tries to first take it high to potentially go over the top of him and then slam it back down low as soon as he sees Daunt sticking high with him. Either are going to work out. Daunt able to cover it all. So Daunt has really cleaned it up here in this game number 2 as he gets chased down by Dark. Easily able to evade the pressure. Dark should be able to reset on 100. Daunt is going to have to leave now. So all the space in the world for Dark. And what is he going to do? He's going to take to the skies again. Daunt, the pre-jump. This time, the ceiling pinch worked exactly how he wanted it to. This is what he was trying to do the last time as well. The problem with that one was Daunt got to start at the ceiling, so it was much easier to just stay glued high and not let him go over the top of him. This time, Daunt was trying to pre-jump challenge from all the way on the ground, which makes it much more likely that Dark is going to be able to pick up the pace and take it over the top of him. Dark's going to fake kick off Daunt here, and see, when Daunt comes from the ceiling, there's basically no way to go over the top of him, assuming that Daunt plays it right. Because a lot of people will challenge from the ceiling and then immediately jump off, creating a hole that players can go through. But Daunt hasn't been doing that. He's been staying glued and staying high as long as he can. Dark, 30 seconds. Gonna get demoed in this attempt to set something up off the sidewall. Daunt doesn't even need to bring this ball to Dark, but for some reason, he's just gonna slam it to him and say, I want to have some fun as the game ends. I want you to have possession for some reason. Oh, Daunt, big miss. I mean, what was Daunt doing? Daunt with the 0 IQ clear with 30 seconds left to go just gives the ball to Dark, and then the 0 mechanics read as Dark just slams it off the curve of the top of the arena. Daunt needs to be careful here not to just toss this game away. He's going to try and softly catch the ball. He gets demoed. I think this is going to be a 4th goal for Dark. Yeah, oh no, Daunt. I mean, if Daunt just doesn't boom that ball and just holds on to it for even a few seconds, then he's going to be okay. I mean, I don't blame him too much for missing that read. That happens, right? You try to get a read off the save on the back wall and whatever. Sometimes you make mistakes, but the boom is just a game decision that he made that I can't really agree with. Maybe he could score before overtime to make himself feel a bit better about how this one's winding down. Wait, no, he just dropped it to Dark. Dark's just going to keep it up and score. Daunt. Daunt! This is not how to end a game. Oh my goodness, it's not even going to take overtime. Dark is going to take game number 2. He's on match point now. He steals it all in the final seconds. Game number 3. Daunt versus Dark. Chat speculating that I have paid off Daunt for what he just did there at the end of that game. That is not the case. I truly could not explain to you what happened there at the end of that game. You know, I still think that the biggest blunder was the huge clear. Everything else was unfortunate. You know, missing a read on the back wall is tough, happens. And then maybe not realizing that your soft touch is going to be caught and taken to the net. I mean, that's kind of tough. It's still a bit of a blunder. But I have all the time in the world. I can do whatever I want. I just demoed Dark, and then he just booms it back to him. That was the one that I truly didn't understand. Maybe he thought Dark was going to dive underneath it. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it. But anyways, the show match is not over. Daunt has shown that he can win games, and he just needs to do that 3 times in a row. He's a bit tilted, though, you could tell, because after that reset and wave dash, he thought he had just left the net open, and so he just kind of dropped the controller and then realized that Dark didn't have the angle, so he was still in this one. He's going to put slight pressure. I like that. He knows he wants to grab midfield boost, but instead of just going straight for it, he intentionally takes an arcing fake challenge angle, which gets Dark to get rid of the ball, which is very smart. Just a way to guarantee that he gets both possession and his 100 boost. And now with a slight bump, Daunt will take another early lead in game number 3. It was a mechanical error. He meant to air dribble it. Is that right? I don't think so. Unless that's what Daunt said. Because he front flipped into it. So unless... Oh, you mean he maybe meant to double jump? And instead he front flipped? Honestly, that would make more sense. Daunt is streaming, so he maybe had an explanation for why he launched it to him. And I can maybe see a world where he's trying to double jump into a dribble like Dark just did, right? And instead accidentally front flipped and boomed it, but that's not what it looked like from my perspective. Daunt forced back into his own net. Patience from Dark is going to get a slow roller. He knew that Daunt was running out of options on the blue half, and what Daunt needed to do was not wave dash his way all the way back to net, but instead turn and challenge Dark, who didn't have a ton of boost himself at a much earlier occasion. It seemed like Daunt fell a bit too in love with grabbing boost all the way down the center of the field over making a play on the ball, and his boost isn't going to be worth anything when he has to make a backflip save attempt on the cut around his car. (3-1). Daunt got the first goal, but 3 straight for Dark. And now Daunt, air dribble resets. He's going to use it to demo Dark, and it's actually going to work out because Dark just dropped the ball on the goal line. So Daunt just takes a nice lap, comes back around the ball, and gets his second. Got any opponents I can play tomorrow, anytime this week? Yeah, definitely, Jack. You want to play North Americans? Or are you interested in still queuing EU? Let's see if we can get you some of the North Americans, though. Obviously, that's more exciting now that you're here. And I feel like you've played Daniel a couple times recently, so maybe not Daniel. Honestly, you've played AJ a bunch, too. You'll play anyone in EU or NA, love it. All right, we could definitely find anybody in any of the regions for you at some point. I'll talk to you afterwards. Dark. I thought maybe he might go for Pogo instead. Uses his reset into the ball. Try and get another one. Daunt has tied it up and might even be able to take a lead again. 4-3 for Daunt. Good composure. You know, everything was screaming tilt out of this game. After getting the first goal in this one and then getting 3 straight for Dark, the world was screaming at Daunt, tilt out of this game. And credit to him for not tilting. Retaking the lead here in this game 3. Of course, it's not over for him. 2 minutes, only a 1-goal lead. Might even get erased here as Dark, ooh, actually put it The one spot that Daunt could cover. Dark from the back wall. Cannot carry this over the top of Daunt. Daunt recognizes early that that shot attempt was incredibly wide, so he doesn't even think about the ball, just rushes to the corner and make sure he can steal the boost and force Dark out of his half. Dark reset once again, looking like he was going to go pogo, but he's been trying to do the counters to the early challenge to the pogos, because if Daunt thinks he's going pogo, he's going to dive in at the ground right where the ball will bounce, and Dark is trying to reset it over the top of that early challenge, but that hasn't really come. Ooh, big miss by Daunt, but Dark's still slightly awkward. Cannot get the fast play. Daunt bumped out to midfield. Immediately challenging right back. He needed to connect with the ball at least a little bit, and he would have been okay. Dark, not even really faking, I wouldn't say. It was just trying to protect the ball when an early challenge was coming. Dark, another fake kickoff. Minute left to go. He's just going to boom a power shot, see if he can catch Daunt out of position. But he did not. Daunt actually has more than enough boost to work with. Dark, once again, a cheeky touch to try and catch Daunt off guard. And he chased Daunt all the way into the corner, but not enough. Could not find the angle. And Daunt, actually great patience on the goal line for this 50. He needs to capitalize, and his hook shot does not connect. But it's not over for him. Dark is still low on boost. That was actually a misplay, touching the ball as hard as he did. He let Dark have a chance on the ball. So now Dark's going to be reset on boost. He's going to pre-jump this dribble. He knows it's coming. Daunt takes it right into Dark, and as long as he's able to steal this corner, he's still in a good spot. Dark's going to reset at this midfield, though, and that turn from Daunt is not quick enough. I don't think he's going to make it back. Dark, 5-4. Daunt needed to be careful. He had a half flip again, I think. He couldn't afford to take a trip around the side wall. As soon as he landed, he probably had to half flip back to the ball. But that recovery was not going to cut it. 13 seconds left to go. Daunt, he needs to clutch out right now. Dark is going to... Oh, my goodness! Dark did the opposite of clutch. I wouldn't even necessarily say that Daunt clutched it. But Dark, did he throw this one harder than Daunt did last one? No, definitely not. But still... Obviously a mistake. Thought Daunt was going to go quick. Tried to maybe flip into where the ball was headed, but just flipped into no man's land. It's still just a tie game. Dark doesn't necessarily need overtime. His flick is saved. Daunt should be recovering for this, though. Daunt's going to try and keep it up. He knows Dark is at 0 boost and recovering in a poor spot. Daunt, maybe air dribble bump. Doesn't matter. Good defense from Dark. Should hit the ground now. Overtime and game number 3. Daunt. Can he capitalize on the grace that was given to him by a big miss from Dark? He should be able to. It's not the easiest angle in the world, but he's got all the time to get it. And he does. Daunt will get a Game 3 win, this time off the back of a bit of a choke from Dark. But he's still alive and can begin his reverse sweep. Oh my goodness. Dark's controller? Yeah, that one seemed like a controller mess up or something. Game number 4. Dark and Daunt. These two have been trading throws. But now it is time for them to clutch up and outplay each other instead of outplaying themselves. I'm sure of it. Dark is going to be the first to score, as he just booms a shot over the top of what is a far too close shadow by Daunt. He's thinking he might be able to challenge. I mean, yeah, that's just not the place to be ever. On that slight curve in a shadow position, thinking about backwards challenging Dark, it's going to be very tough to do. Dark on the side wall. Not going to pogo this with the catch, although he might have been able to. Daunt almost own goal. Oh, that would have been really bad as he cleared it across his net. It was actually headed into his net. Daunt reset, faking the pinch on the ground. And Dark still able to cover that bounce. Daunt's going to accelerate this clear onto his back wall so that he can take control of it. Daunt now, the carry. He sees a close shadow from Dark, so he just lobs it. What he was hoping was over the top of Dark. Just barely wasn't able to continue it for a goal. Dark, he has exposed Daunt a couple times now, noticing when that net is not covered and just launching a power shot right inside the far post. Dark, what a great mix-up here to bait Daunt in. If we watch it from Daunt's perspective, he's thinking about turn to challenge. He sees how long Dark has taken and starts moving upfield, potentially stop some kind of dribble. But instead, Dark just launches it off the bounce. Now Daunt, he's got a nice dribble set up of his own. Saw that his angle was covered by Dark, so instead of taking the shot, just stays on the ground and tries to 50, but this follow-up was not it. Almost got lucky. Did get lucky on the bounce. 2 different touches off of the post, but Daunt not able to recover and get the midfield in time. Dark just let him have the corner. That's definitely a mistake. I don't think Daunt even steals or gets this corner in time if Dark is able to take it. Daunt, big clear. Likely didn't have an angle on the shot, but did get Dark out of his half. Dark actually just passed the ball to Daunt, bit of a mistake, as Daunt does try and go for a second touch there, which surprises me. I figured he knew that that was going to get saved. I would have expected him to rush quicker into the corner to guarantee his steal. Dark just made a bit of a blunder, leaving the net open, but Daunt doesn't capitalize. We're approaching halfway through this game. Daunt scoreless so far. He's at least slowed down the offense of Dark. This flick is well placed. Crossbar and in. And Dark cannot cover it. RL Dark 1. If you want to go watch Dark, and Daunt with 2 N's and 2 T's. If you want to watch Daunt. They are both live streaming right now. Dark trying to convert on an instant kickoff. Daunt is going to be able to send it to the back wall. And it's probably just going to boom this because he knows Dark has the boost advantage. And with 0, oh, super aggressive. Normally, somebody with that big of a boost disadvantage would not dive all the way in to the back wall to go for that 50. And that's what Dark was expecting too. He thought, no way is Daunt actually going to come here and try and get this ball. And that is how Daunt was able to stay in control of it. And now Dark could not protect this as it came to the ground. And Daunt, the pass to himself. And the second goal. Big kickoff from Dark. These have worked well for him all series long, but maybe none as well as this one, as it's just a free goal. Daunt, I don't think he's read a single one of the fake kickoffs. Dark coming to this one, and I think Daunt is just playing with fire, I feel like, on his diagonal kickoff. The way he just goes straight into the ball instead of getting goal side. This time, he was just barely able to get back and prevent the immediate goal for Dark. He's going to go bump. Yeah, why not? And even though Dark is able to slow Daunt down a little bit, it's not enough to prevent the ball from finding its way in. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You guys might remember me mentioning it. These really close dribbles, the dribbles that start like almost inside that 18-yard box, I think air dribble bumps are the way to go with those. There's not a ton of movement you can get because the ball speed is so low to get it around a defender's angle. And so what you need is the defender to just not be there, which feels best to go with the bump. Dark is going to pogo attempt again, this time backflipping really low. Daunt able to get the save, and a huge flick is going to force a bit of an awkward touch from Dark. Decides to just send it all the way to the midfield. Now Daunt, he has his reset to protect the ball. He's going to go for the ground double, and that's a good mix-up. Daunt saw the challenge early from Dark in the air, decided to take it to the ground, but instead of all the way to the ground, which I think is what Dark was expecting, he just slams it off the ground to himself and gets his 4th goal. Nice mix-up and creativity from the American. He might have an immediate goal. Sent it to the back wall, and why did he stay so close to this one? Such a high risk, and almost no chance of finding an angle that works out for you. I mean, even if he does connect with this, it's not going in the net, and then Dark is going to have the advantage going the other way. But, of course, the worst case scenario happened where he doesn't even touch the ball, and then it's the biggest freebie ever. Daunt now trying to handle this kickoff, has to double jump it to the crossbar, and he succeeded. He might even be able... Nope. Got close to being able to get his own boost. Now Dark through the air. Wants to keep the ball high, I'm sure, to prevent the zero boost Daunt from even being able to make a play on it. He wasn't able to do so. 45 seconds. Dark in control. He sees the net open. What did Daunt do? I'm confused. I saw what Dark saw, which was just a net that was completely given to him. He went all the way to the opposite wall's midfield boost when Dark had possession on the right side of the field. That is just such a big window to leave. Daunt, bit of a fake off the kickoff, but wasn't able to take the midfield boost, which I think, you know, what's the difference between that being a better position for him and a better position for Dark? Because I don't think he would be too worried about Dark's zero boost attack. But when you leave the boost and let him have 100, it's definitely in favor of Dark. Daunt needs to score on this take right now. Air dribble's going to have to end with a 50. Dark able to keep it out for now, but slowly creeped out to the ball and made it possible for Daunt to side flip it over the top of him. He was trying to be so patient. Oh, but 21 boost, man. Could he not just go up to that ball and boom it away? You have 7 seconds left in the game and a 2-goal lead. It seems like you just launched the ball away from your net. And worst case scenario, Daunt gets some kind of 50, but I feel like obviously that's better than what happened. Daunt has a chance to score right now, and did he make it? Oh, he missed! He missed! No! Daunt was so close to tying the game and forcing overtime, but he hits his kickoff goal off the post. Dark put a bit of pressure on it as it came back to midfield, but it still was pretty free. Oh, brutal. The ends of all these games have been crazy. You got to feel for Daunt. Hey, credit to Daunt for coming to the away server to play Dark. Been a while since he's played a show match, but Daunt is obviously a great player, and I think we're going to get Daunt on a few more games if he continues to grind ones like he has been. But GG's, Dark gets the win in Game 4.